This morning, rap mogul Jay Z is denying allegations he sexually assaulted a 13-year-old girl alongside rapper Sean Diddy Combs. That civil lawsuit filed against Combs in October was amended Sunday to include Jay Z. The accuser, identified only as Jane Doe, says she was sexually assaulted by both men at a Video Music Awards after party in 2000.
Okay. It's getting ugly and ugly and ugly. So we already know that here's the thing that's going on. For the social media world, man, we blog on things based upon what's available to us. These FBI people, they got a lot of evidence. They got a lot of stuff, okay? When they hit Puffy House, they got all those cameras, the video recordings, they got all that stuff. You can bet they reached out to a lot of those people that's on there and let them know, like, look, we got y'all on camera doing some crazy things. Some of that footage can't be used against them because they didn't know that they were being recorded. So it could be dismissed through courts, but it's still giving them the knowledge of what they know, depending on what was on there. So for the most part, we in social media world, we scrambling on what's available, and because we feed our audience and making money off this stuff, people tend to clickbait and bring it up to other levels. We know this can get very messy. And I want to touch on this, man. Okay? I want to touch on this on some real stuff because people don't like to tell the truth. People don't like to keep it real about situations, man. And I don't care, man. I'm just the realist. I'm just going to tell the truth no matter what, okay? It is what it is. So there's another person that came forward accusing Jay Z and Diddy for sexual assaulting her at the age of 13. Now, so when you see this, immediately people like, oh, man, that's crazy. You got people who gonna believe it, people who don't believe it. Me, I'm on the fence on both sides because I don't look at men as though they not flawed. Now, I don't look at men as though they wouldn't do these things, or even women, because I know we live in a world where we got a fallen nature. We live in a world of sin, and the devil is not off limits to nobody. And the only person he do fear is people who honestly have a relationship with the Lord Jesus Christ. That's who he fears. That's who he respects to some degree when that relationship is genuine. So all these things these brothers be doing, and we know how wicked and evil Hollywood is, and we know that it's set up for blackmailing, extorting, and sabotaging everybody. We know this. We know this. Make no mistake about it. These guys have been cocky and arrogant their whole career. They use money and power and position to actually oppress people and get over on people as a leverage, at the same time putting people in positions. Okay? We get that. We understand that. There's a lot of dirty tricks that happen in Hollywood too. And that's why you're like, man, why is stuff coming out now? We live in an era of social media where now things can be found out. At the time with these charges coming in on these brothers it wasn't really no social media like that where a lot of stuff can be easily investigated, found out, figured out. Especially at a time where cell phone wasn't really that privy at a time like this, or during the time these brothers catching these charges and getting these lawsuits thrown on them. So the 13-year-old girl saying she was sexually assaulted at an after party by both Jay Z and Diddy, allegedly. I don't rule things like them out because I've been involved in doing music and in and out of studios and working with a lot of people, and I saw things like this happen to some degree. I'm gonna give you an example. There was a girl that came in the studio, and I'm gonna bring her mom in here one day. I got to see if she in town. Her mama name is Sean. Her name is Breeze. People might know who she is in Milwaukee. Breeze and Sean. Breeze was beautiful, okay? You see Breeze walk in, she looked like she 25 years old. Black girl, long hair, bad body and everything. sophisticated mentally. She came in the studio and man, everybody wanted her. She came in with her mama though. Nobody didn't know that was her mama. She came in the studio. Everybody wanted her. Like she found like, ooh, she cold. God talking among himself. Oh, I'm getting her. No, I'm getting her. Her mama was like, she 14. They was like, what? But that's not really surprising to some degree when you're a black woman. For the most part, and no disrespect to anybody else. Black women develop quickly, especially with the stuff they put in food and things like that, with the hormone things and things like that. They are developing quickly. You can see girls 12, 13, 14, 15 years old. They got bodies like they 25, 26. A lot of these girls come from broken homes where they grow up fast and they very street knowledgeable by being on their own for so long. When you got mama, got other kids, and you've been think about, see, people don't address these things. Think about how mamas who reckless and wild and ratchet got all type of different baby daddies. So you have your first child that might be a girl, second child that might be a girl, or even a boy. And they having more kids by other guys. What happens? What ends up happening when they still want to run the street because they're young, having babies young? They leave the younger kids to take care of the older ones. I mean, they leave the older kids to take care of the younger ones. I have saw this happen many times. Little girls who's 7, 8, 9 years old, babysitting 3 and 4-year-old kids, literally cleaning them, changing pampers, cleaning up the house, even cooking food. I done saw things like this. People like this is even in our families. We got people like this in our families. They got a lot of kids, different baby daddies. You still fast and running the streets. And you got your kids looking out, babysitting other kids while they 10 and 9 and 8 and 11 years old. Literally doing full functions as a wife and a mama because mama is ratchet and a whore and running the street. So them little kids end up growing up sophisticated at a young age because of being forced on them. So then, because they black, you know, most black girls got big booties and titties and things like that. Most black girls. And it develops young with them. Now they reckless on the streets from 13 to 14, and they mentally been advanced. And we know that a lot of these women lie about their ages. Lie about their ages purposely, especially when they're in poverty, especially when they hurting. And they be wanting guys who's older, because they don't like to talk to guys their ages, because 9 times out of 10 guys their ages don't have no money. That happened to me before. When I was dealing with my girlfriend, Tasha, I bring her in one day. Me and Tasha was the same age. Her mama, we were 14 years old. Her mama didn't want her talking to me because I just went to school. You know, remember at this time, it wasn't like it is now, when you probably could get a job when you were a teenager and you can bring home a few hundreds and work for restaurants and things. That wasn't how it was at our time like that. When we were 14, we just went to school. Now, if you was in another place where you could find a hustle or something like that, hey, but where we was, no, it wasn't like that, unless you were selling drugs or dick upping and things like that. But no, I just went to school at this time. Her mother didn't want her talking to me. She wanted her talking to this older dude named Junior Boy who was a drug dealer so that she can get stuff out of him. She purposely broke us up and told me her daughter too young to have a boyfriend, and we was the same age. And broke us up, not knowing that she was really setting her up to go with her sister's boyfriend's friend, her mother's sister boyfriend, her auntie's boyfriend friend. She wanted my girlfriend to go with because he was a drug dealer and liked her. And y'all done know y'all done met them mamas when y'all have money. Y'all done met them mamas when you dealing with their daughters. Be like, come on, give your mama a hug. Give your mama some money. This ain't no different. In fact, it's worse because these dudes got big major money. Big major money. So they set them people up like that for real. They see their daughters young and underage, but they can pass for being of age. You 13, but you got a body like you 23 years old, 25 years old, 19 years old. And then for the most part, I done seen this happen. If you bad and you pretty enough, even though you underage in club, what they do, they don't even ID you. They let you in because they want people to know it's a lot of pretty girls in there so that it can draw other men in there. Like, is the club crack? Like, man, it's a lot of fine women up in there. I done seen that where they don't card women. If you pretty enough and got a bad body enough, they won't even card you. They'll let you straight through. And you an underage woman in there with nothing but grown men. And guys catching all type of sexual assault cases and things like that because they didn't know how old you was. And you lying about your ages, and they got fake IDs. So yeah, this could get real messy and very terrible. Let me show you more proof of that. Because see, when I be bringing this up, talking about it, cats be trying to act like they don't know. But let me show you more proof of that. Watch this. I'm going to play you a clip of a person I know personally who actually was doing these things to guys. Was purposely doing these things to guys. In a club, underage, with a fake ID with guys. Listen at this.
I took my mama ID and to go start dancing. That picture is old as hell. I don't know why they dug back that far. I can't tell.
Notice what she said. I took my mama's ID and went to go start dancing. So she was not old enough to get inside of strip clubs. So because she looked like her mother and can pass for her mother and had a body, she took her mother's ID and went to go start dancing in the clubs. That's really prostitution. That's really what that's saying. They call it dancing, but it's prostitution because you're going to make money around grown men who touching you, groping you, making sexual advances to you, offering you large amounts of money for sexual favors. But here's the thing. They don't know she's a minor. She's a minor. But she have an ID saying she's of age. And she's really a minor. In the club with grown men, and they having sex with a minor and don't even know it. See what I mean? Same thing you see these homosexual transgenders doing. Dressing up, posing as women. Some guys ain't sharp enough to recognize it. Having sex with them, find out they men, and they catching charges on them from beating them up, killing them and shooting them. But you had me believe you was a woman when you really was a man. Why would you trick me like that? You got me believing you really of age when you really underage. This is what they purposely be doing. And everything is a hustle and a lick. And people don't like to talk about that. My baby mama did that to me. She told me she was 18 years old. I was 20, but she really was 15. And I didn't know that. You know why? She stayed out all night long. She wasn't from the neighborhood. And remember, and these are the time where you don't have cell phones and we didn't have social media where you can go on Facebook and see her timeline and all her family. None of that. Most of these girls, when they'll be setting people up, they'll be from other neighborhoods. You got to know this stuff to know. If they lived from the west, on the west side, they would go to the north side and deal with north side dudes who didn't know about them. They're on the west side. And the same women who lived on the north side will mess with south side, east side people. They don't really mess around with people from their neighborhoods who know who they is. They go outside the neighborhoods messing with people who don't know who they is, and they make up fake names. They give fake ages, and that's how these things be going on. They have fake IDs. And then most of these girls, mamas them let them do this type of stuff because they mamas had children young, and they sometimes look at that stuff as being cute, allowing their daughters to follow in their same footsteps. You don't know that it's a lie because these girls stay out all night, they drinking, they smoking, they actually bring the liquor, bring the weed, driving cars. Mama them get them their cars to drive. They driving cars, smoking weed, drinking, and they got bodies like they grown women when they really underage. And remember, ain't even no social media at the time. Same thing with Puffy them and Jay Z on this 13-year-old girl. This is in 2000. Social media wasn't even started like that. It wasn't no Facebook. It wasn't no Instagram. It wasn't no Twitters. It wasn't no YouTubes. People didn't even really have cell phones like that. You couldn't verify none of the stuff that a person tell you. So yeah, I know it happens. I know it happens. It happens. People just ain't realistic to admit it. And I remember Bree's mama telling me, because Breeze was so pretty and she had a nice body and she could pass for 25, 27, Breeze had a contract with a record company. I'm going to bring her mama in here to tell her. Breeze had a contract with a record company. They knew she was 14. The record company told Breeze to say that she was 19, even though she was 14 years old. I think she was 13 at the time, just like this situation. The record company told Breeze to say she was 19 years old when they knew that she was really 13, so that she could be able to perform and do shows and get inside the clubs. Because she was pretty and had a nice body, they didn't question it. And that's why her mama started chaperoning her around so that nobody could take advantage of her, because her mama started saying that even everybody wanted her, to the point that they started being offended in her mama for being her chaperone. And they sometimes would tell her, like, you ain't got to stay in the studio with her. You can leave. We got it. And she'd be like, no, I'm not. I'm staying here with her. When she started finding out all the things they were trying to have her do, seeing that she was underage. So if I know they were doing that to Breeze, signed to a contract where she was actually told by the label to pretend to be a higher age, seeing that she was underage and putting her in a setting with other producers and artists, I don't doubt that this happened with Puffy and Jay Z. It just looked bad in this damn era when we're in social media. As long as they can prove she was a minor and you was having sex with her, regardless of the situation, it's going to make you look bad, even though they purposely set this stuff up. Let me play it again. Listen to what she says.
I took my mama ID and to go start dancing. That picture is old as hell. I don't know why they dug back that far. I can't.
See what I mean? Yes. So I don't doubt this. I don't doubt this. I have women who would tell you, yes, I lie about my age all the time. Especially when they are in poverty. That's the one thing happened to R. Kelly. The main girl in the R. Kelly case that got him them charges, you know what, and it was crazy. I think her name was Jackie. I forgot what her name was, but it was the main girl they used to actually get him. She's on record saying this in the Surviving R. Kelly documentary. She said that R. Kelly asked her, how old are you? She said she told him, I'm 19 years old. He said, okay. He took her home. She then says, just before they were finna have sex, she had a change of heart and told him, I'm actually 16. I'm not 19. I lied. I'm really 16. That's what she said. See, stuff like that. We supposed to believe that, though. He asks you how old you are to see if you of age. You know this why he's asking you this. You want to go with him. You see he choosing you and liking you. So what you do is tell him you is of age, even though you're not of age, so that he could take you. So you tell him I'm 19, even though you 16. He then take you back home, and just when y'all finna have sex, you say, psych, I lied. I'm really 16, not 19. But at this time, R. Kelly is the #1 R&B singer in the world. He's rich and he's handsome. You already sexually involved with other dudes you've been having sex with. That's already been proven. Who dirty, balmy, ain't half as good looking as R. Kelly is. But you want us to believe that when you got to R. Kelly's house, and just when you was finna have sex with R. Kelly, even though you've been having sex with Jermaine, Tyrone, and Jason, them bummy ass, now you're in R. Kelly's mansion, and you tell R. Kelly no, even though you've been letting Jason and Jermaine them smash, and you tell them, no, I'm not really 19, I'm really 16. See, I don't like that type of stuff. If you're gonna get the bro, but don't railroad the man. Don't railroad the man. And when women say things like that, that got to be used against them, and they are no longer credible. They are no longer credible. My thing is, if brothers wrong for what they doing and they deliberately knew what they were doing, then yes. But don't railroad them in. Don't set the dudes up. Don't blackmail the dudes. Tell the truth. That's my only thing I don't like about what they doing. Do I believe Puffy and Jay Z grimy? Yes. Do I believe they guilty of everything people saying about them? No. Not everything. And I can't pick and choose the thing because I don't know the thing. But my common sense tells me everything being said is not true. Some yes, some no. I don't know what it is, but I know reality. And I know what people do. And I've been a victim of these things myself. And so are some of y'all. Y'all got people in y'all family who do this stuff. And y'all know people who really do this stuff. Y'all know women who lie about their ages. We've been seeing this ever since we've been in high school. Remember when we was in high school? And the freshmen would have college dudes and senior dudes picking them up and dropping them off to school. They didn't want nothing to do with us because we was basically poor too. And do you remember us wanting older women too? Yes. I remember all this. But we live in a different era now. This stuff is definitely now can be verified. There's no excuses now. That's why if you look at these charts, notice this stuff going all the way back to over 20-some years on these dudes. It ain't really showing this stuff happening right now in this their era going back 10 to 15 years ago. Not really showing that because social media is powerful. You can look people up and verify their names. You can verify their ages. You can verify where they at, where they from. But 20-something years down the line, stuff like that, you didn't know that stuff like that. A person could tell you, like, yeah, I'm 18. You like, oh man, she's dropped. She's fine. She could be 14, 13. Because sisters' bodies develop like that. I used to have to say that about my little sister. When her body started developing, and she couldn't wait to lie about her age. And she couldn't wait to lie about her age. I'm like, girl, stop lying. You 14 years old. Stop telling them you 18. She's like, shut up. Why you tell? Yeah. Yeah, people do this stuff. Let's listen to some more.
In a blistering statement, Jay Z accuses Jane Doe's attorney of trying to blackmail him. He said further, quote, "These allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one. Whomever would commit such a crime against a minor should be locked away. Would you not agree?" He added, "My only heartbreak is for my family. My wife and I will have to sit our children down, one of whom is at the age where her friends will see the press and ask questions about the nature of these claims and explain the cruelty and greed of people." Joining us.
Right, and here's the thing. Jay-Z probably don't know. You probably don't know. So many parties you done went involved in, you've been involved in, so many places you done went. And at that time, again, your stuff going back 20, 25 years, where with no social media, you don't know who you probably was having sex with that was underage, bro. Some people you probably did know. Some people you didn't. See, that's another thing people don't touch on, that let's just be real. Cats be trying to lie and they don't like to tell the truth, but let's just be honest, man, of what was going on and what people was doing. People who was in 20 years old, they didn't have no problem with having sex with 17, 16-year-old girls and stuff. To them, that was like in the norm. Like that's how things was in those times. That wasn't looked at as being really considered bad when you could be like 30 doing this type of stuff. You get what I'm saying? When you was when they was like when it was like in a 5-year range or something like that, 5-6-year range or something like that, people didn't really look at that as being bad, depending on how up in age it was like that. Because if you actually look into Black families and you go back into not only Black family, people family, you'll find out that your father is like 5 years older than your mama. Your father like 6, 7 years older than your mama. You find out your mama, them going back, they had you when they was 15, 16, 17, 18. You get what I'm saying? Like my auntie, I take care of her. My auntie Peaches, she's 77. She had her first son when she was 14. She had her second son when she was 15. You get what I'm saying? And when you see when you the age like Diddy and Puffy, them, they 55 years old. They 55 years old. So they go all the way back to, again, no social media era, and they go back to where it wasn't looked at as being suspect when you was a senior dating a freshman. That wasn't looked at as being a minor, even though you was just grown, 19 or 20. That wasn't looked at as being bad like that. What was looked at as being bad if you was somehow like 25 or 30. So in those times of how old these guys is, they 55 years old, both of them dudes, 55 years old. So you know, see, you see them right now. See, we see them right now because they still relevant right now. We're not considering the ages they are going back to how things were in their days, because we looking at how things are now in this day. So we look shameful at how things were back in their days that was considered the norm, that's different than what's going on in these days, which is entirely different. You know what I'm saying? And it's shunned upon. But like I said, these ain't new charges based upon what's going on recently in 10 or 15 years. This stuff going back over this stuff going back on them on 24 years ago. 24 years ago. They say this happened in 2000. It's 2024. So this 24 years ago. Again, where there was no social media to verify this. And when they were being set up by record labels and companies for blackmails and extortions, by which they was allowing underage girls to attend these parties on purpose so that they could always have something over them. And they wasn't able to verify it and recognize it because it wasn't in an era of social media where you could actually get it. I don't think they know how many minors they had sex with. I don't think they really know. But they supposed to deny it. I think they know now because they wiser, they older, so you can look back on things and be like, man, that's crazy. They were setting us up, man, all along. I'm telling you, women was doing this stuff like it's nothing. I'm going to play another clip for you. Watch this. Listen.
I was fucking too many people to even know who her daddy is. So with that being said, you're not the daddy.
Right. Gotta put that up there. Now, look at what she was saying. She said, I was fucking so many people, I didn't know who the daddy was. Now, with that being said, Imagine what's going on there. That you having sex with so many guys, you don't even know who your baby daddy is. You having sex with so many guys that you making up lie after lie after lie after lie after lie just to get in bed with whoever you want to get in bed with, or just to get from them whatever you wanted to get from them. This is what I be trying to tell you. Some people just don't tell the truth. But I respect her for actually telling the truth. Because in reality, she was coming to my defense about something that was being said about me that wasn't true, that she had to personally clear the air on. And I'm telling you, man, it's dirty and it's terrible, and people just don't like to tell the truth. They don't like to tell the truth. And a lot of this stuff goes on all the time, and people know it. But again, this social media. So if you want to shame a person and you want to bring a person down, you will use this to your advantage to try to shame them. If it means you get views, if it means you make money, if it means it puts you in a different light. So I want to be careful when talking about this, because these dudes do have families. They do have children. And you don't know the nature of everything that's being said about them. But I know that they was being set up. And even though it's rightfully so for them to deny things being said about them, but I don't doubt that they laid around with a few minors, because they are mega guys that make multi-millions and they black. For the most part, they put them, look, it's hard to even feel sorry for people sometimes, because a lot of times they volunteer to be in these positions. They volunteer themselves to be in these situations. But I don't doubt that they may have laid with a lot of minors, but didn't know that they was minors. Some they laid with, they did know was minors, but didn't really look at it as being shameful based upon what the age range may have been because of how old they are and what was considered the norm. That's now shunned and looked frowned upon in this day and era of social media. And that's the real truth. Nobody is going to talk about. Nobody is going to speak on, because right now, their head is on the platter. And when their heads is on the platter, people are going to use this. But it's shameful that so many people know about this knowledge, know about this stuff, but won't even call it out and say something and tell the truth. And then if you do speak about it like I speak about it, then guess what people are going to say? Oh, nigga, I don't care. The truth is the truth. The truth is the truth. We all guilty before God, and we all will stand before God. Some people just honest about it. Some people ain't honest about it. We will give an account for our actions if we don't repent and turn our life around and give it to Jesus Christ. I'd rather do it now than it be too late. So I'm glad I accepted him as my Lord and Savior. I'm glad I've been forgiven, washed in the blood of all my sins. I don't have to die and stand before God for him to tell me what I know I'm guilty of. I know I'm guilty of it. How do I fix the problem before I die? How do I become a better man? How do I correct the error? And the only answer is through Jesus Christ. So at the end of the day, the truth is the truth. People just don't like the truth. That being said, it's your boy Battle Truth. Make my judgment, that's a question. It's yours, man. Subscribe to Battle Truth.